Here we have a couple of Moog style LFOs in Eurorack to match the Behringer System 55. Some people say Moog didn't make LFOs, intending that people use the 901 or 921 voltage controlled oscillator modules. However, Moog did make some LFOs specifically for Keith Emersons' customised system. These were not individual modules, but were modified 902 VCA faceplates with a single circuit board behind them with 3 simple triangle square LFOs on them with just a speed control. Most of the sockets and switch etc. on the front panel were dummies, and the front panels were labelled up with dymos. So this is my tribute to them. The LFOs are based on the circuits inside the Polymoog, so they are tried and tested Moog technology, and they're an operational transconductance amplifier OTA based square triangle LFO with an optional VCA for delayed vibrato effects etc. So I've just got it patched into the zero scope and into an oscillator. So if I turn up, so I can now hear the oscillator. If I turn up via an attenuator, so there's our LFO. And as currently configured, it goes from approximately 1 cycle every 5 seconds to about 15 Hertz in high range. I've actually used the switch so it can go on to a low range, which goes from about 2 Hertz to about 1 cycle every 20 seconds. Not proposing that we actually wait for that, but yeah, pitch is slowly rising. So yeah, getting bored with that will speed things up a bit. Nice siren effect. I'll turn that down a bit. Okay, we've got a triangle output and we've got 2 squares which can be configured to have different output levels or can be configured to be unipolar. Second output I've got on the triangle is actually offset, so it's positive only, useful for things like tremolo on VCA etc. Both of these LFOs have got the VCA included. So now I've got the output from the LFO on the left, but I've patched the positive only output of the LFO on the right into the bottom socket, which in this case, because these have been built with the VCA included, is the VCA control input. So if we have a listen to that, we've got the LFO on the right modulating the amplitude of the LFO on the left. So now we're still looking at the triangle output of the LFO on the left, but I'm now feeding its VCA with the output from an envelope generator, and just to keep things compact and on the screen, I'm feeding the square output via a V2S trigger converter into the trigger output of the envelope generator. And let's turn that up and see what we're getting. So I can now modify the envelope generator attack. So here we can see the basis of a very basic delayed vibrato effect, using the envelope generator with a trigger delay or not to introduce vibrato. As I say, I'm just doing it automatically here based on the square wave from the right LFO, just for demonstration purposes. With a fade out. Just a couple of the applications of a very basic LFO using Moog technology with a Moog style faceplate.